Well, this sucks. Temperature of the transmission is overheating. What is the temperature for today according to the car? It says a whopping 92 degrees. So it's 92 degrees plus humidity. So at this point, it's like I just gotta make it home, put this car away, and hope that my stuff comes in soon. It's gotten to this point. Hazards on, full on traffic on 465. I love it. Well, we're servicing the F82 M4. As you guys saw that I had the temperature for the transmission warning light come on. Not the best feeling in the entire world. So what am I doing now? A full oil change, which this will be the first oil change it's ever had in 4,000 miles. Actually, like 4,100 miles. So GG's on that. Transmission service, and then differential service. So, unfortunately, the differential service, I don't have the 14 millimeters, so I gotta go get that. This is gonna be a little scary because, first off, I've never done trans or a diff service before, but I'm showing you underneath the car just to show you exactly what's going on. So this car's supposed to have the bushings upgraded and all, which I think is to the PowerFlex upgrade. This will be the first time I'm ever actually underneath the car, and I'm a little scared to even see what is actually underneath the car. Because I could have been totally lied to. If we get under here, I was totally lied to. Oh my god, these bushings are failing. Oh, that's bad. Wow. Okay, well, I was lied to on that, so it doesn't have the upgraded PowerFlex bushings on it, but it does have the iBox springs. I guess you can't win them all. There's no way for me to even remotely tell that, but yep, that bushing is definitely shot. But everything else looks good. The exhaust is obviously, it looks custom-ish. That's a BMW original muffler. I think it's probably just an M Performance muffler. I mean, it sounds great. Ah, man. If only I would actually get what I said I'd get. Okay, so truthfully, my plan is not to record much of this just because it's going to be so hard to record in general. I don't have a lot of space to work on. Yeah, so I soon realized I needed to raise the car up. Oh my god, these are the shittiest welds I've ever seen. For the resonators, oh my god, it's terrible. So now it's just time to take out the 20,000 plus little BMW 8mm bolts and get the under tray out. Oh, so far good news is that the downpipes are heat wrapped. So that's fabulous. I don't know how it looks over there, but look at these shitty welds on the resonators. This is terrible. Well, what I can say is I'm pretty sure the transmission bushings have been replaced because those don't look OEM at all. That's good. But still, the PowerFlex ones that are supposed to be down in the differential there, those things for sure need to be replaced at some point. I mean, I think at some point in time too, I'm definitely going to get some bigger pipes. But I mean, my car already sounds pretty damn good as it is, but yeah, this is the transmission, so all this comes out, but this is actually still very hot. So I think the best play is to let this cool down more, and then we'll work on it later. Since all my BMW repairs are DIY, I tend to realize that you learn a lot of stuff about the first times, like needing a stubby 8mm hex wrench. So a little bit of time has passed and I had to go get the stubby 8mm. Now this is for the fill plug, which is like almost impossible to get without these guys because it gives you like 3mm extra of clearance, which to be completely honest with you is quite a lot. But this entire set, $50. Yeah, so if you ever wanted to own an M car, understand the repairs are not just the most expensive part. It's actually the tools, especially if you don't have them. You know, this could really go one of two ways, okay? It's either A, when I take out this fill plug for the trans fluid here, okay? And let me show you exactly how freaking tight this is. So again, this is what it looks like, and this is the entire thing here. That is literally how much space I have. So this thing helps so much. And again, I'm kind of hoping that this at least has some oil in it, because if it doesn't, we're in a really, really bad position. Because it means that potentially the clutch is not having any oil to it. It's tight as, this is tight as a mother. Ow! I got it. How much oil is in it? Come on, please tell me there's something. Please tell me there's something. Please, please, please tell me there is something. Oh, there is. Okay, thank God. Now it's my fear that there's a transmission warning because the sensor in the actual gearbox is faulty, which means that this entire transmission has to come out. But yeah, now this just has to pour out for so long. So I gotta use this guy though. Maybe it was low on oil. That doesn't seem like it's 7 or 8 on it. Oh, there's the rest of it. And as you can see, the transmission oil doesn't look crazy bad, but it's dark and it probably needed to be changed. Keep in mind, this F82 M4 has 114,000 miles on it. So whether or not it had the 40,000 or even the 80,000 mile trans flush or trans service, it most definitely needed it again. So really just gotta let that drain for probably a good 3 or 5 minutes. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not sure if there's supposed to be metal shavings in it or not, but I assume that it looks okay. Also, I can see my O2 sensor. Let me show you this. I just figured out something else that might need to get replaced. I kind of knew this, but see that? That O2 sensor, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's broken. That sucker is 1,000% broken. All right, well, the good news is, so far, everything is working out as planned. Now, I'm gonna get this at a great angle. And yeah, all these are what, a T30. Now keep this in mind when you are purchasing the parts and pieces for a full transmission service. You can get 3 different options. Either A, the OEM plastic trans oil pan, the aluminum trans oil pan, or there's a high capacity Turner Motorsport trans oil pan. And in personal recommendation, I would go with the aluminum OEM oil trans pan. It's better for cooling, and you don't have to do any modifications to the underskirt. Wow, my first time ever being inside a transmission. Well, if you ever wondered what's inside a transmission for DCT, here you go. So, see, that needs to be changed out. That is disgusting. And then there's an external filter here, which will change out literally everything, but enjoying every moment of this. Sweet. There we go. So if you're ever going to do this service at your house, be prepared for a lot of fluid to come out, and especially laying on your back, it is not fun at all. So get a lot of rags, get a massive oil drain pan, and yeah, hope and pray and get out of the way. If you ever wanted to see what's inside a DCT transmission, there you go. So there are the gears. They don't look bad from what I'm seeing there. I mean, truthfully, there's not really a whole lot to this. I'm hoping that sensor's good in there, because if it's not, oh boy. Well, boys, now we're gonna put all this stuff back in. So this is the brand new one. So I can say confidently that as scary as this entire service was to do on the F82 M4, it was actually pretty easy. And, well, the screws that are in here, just finger tight them in torqueness. They're not supposed to be tight at all. So, with that being said, I can successfully say I did my first transmission service on my F82 M4. Something I do want to point out is that I did end up going with an aluminum trans oil pan, so it disperses the heat a lot quicker. Now, I personally, you don't have to get the Turner Motorsport one. The Turner Motorsport one is huge, which means you'd have to end up cutting the under tray. There's no real benefit to having that much more oil in the trans pan. See, I'm really excited for this part, because this is the part where I'm fitting on the new and pretty trans pan. I guess this is the real test now, because that guy is the filter, or another filter. That's what it's supposed to look like, and I guess could be bad, could be great. I don't know. It's literally a C-clip that's gonna go like that. Just barely got it. Ooh, that was tight. But this guy, he's gonna hook it. Now this job is simply super easy with a pick tool. So if you don't already have one, I recommend you get one. Yep, pick tool's easy. Oh yeah. There we go. Oh, killing my shoulders. So bad. It is so blazing hot. Bro, it is literally like, it's finally cooling down. You can probably hear the rain now. I don't live in Florida, bro. I'm in Midwest Indiana. Anyways. Oh shit! That sucks. Alright, how's it spilling out already? It's supposed to be the easy part. Well, when you guys do the trans flush, or actually put the oil in, be aware it makes a mess. And you need something that small. You cannot use like the cheap little siphons they have at Harbor Freight. Granted, that's also Harbor Freight, but use that one. It's way better. It's probably the first time you've ever heard that one too. So anyways, it took roughly 5 quarts, about 4.7 to 5 quarts of oil. It's a little shocking considering it says about 6 to 6.9. Granted, I don't have a bigger oil pan, but granted, based off of weight for the liquid, it seems like the amount that I actually was able to get in is the amount that came out. So that's always good. At least there's some oil in there, so it's not gonna hurt it. But they send you 8, which that's a little concerning to me, because if they send you 8, I would assume that they need 8. You guys want to know the main problem of doing the trans service or transmission flush on a really, really, really hot day? Basically, in 39 degrees Celsius and 42 degrees Celsius, you have the temperature of the control unit and temperature of the clutch, or oil temperature of the clutch. These things are supposed to be no more than about 32 to 33. But because I think it's so hot out, and granted, this car has not been turned on yet. We're just about to start up the car and do the revving at 2,000 RPM and allowing it to run for a minute, and that's what it's showing me already. So yeah, it was a bit concerning at first, but then I realized after doing some research that it was pretty normal. New morning, baby. All right, it's differential fluid change time. No leaks from the trans. That's fantastic. Still pissed about the freaking bolt that, you know, was not being torqued correctly. Probably should have just used a different torque wrench, but whatever. Now it's time to change the diff. This should be pretty easy. Differentials here. Fill plug, drain plug, both torqued to 25 Newton meters. At least they should be. This is still from factory, I'd assume. Everything else under this car literally looks in pretty damn good condition. Guess let's go ahead and get this done. So right after this diff fluid change, with this beautiful 14 millimeter nut that literally nobody has, so you gotta order it on Amazon, it's oil change time. So, god damn, bro. Yeah, so clearly this is not an OEM tightening, because I literally had to use my entire body weight of 150 pounds soaking wet to really make sure I can get a grip on this screw and use all the force, all the might that I was born with to get this out. As you can see, I'm struggling. This tight. God, did someone use Loctite on this? Bro, this might not happen. It's not coming. Oh my god, I finally got it. Me. Here we go. It's gonna start spewing out probably. Oh my god. There's like... It's just barely coming out. You guys see that? All that like darker stuff? I hope I didn't screw anything up in there. Alright boys, we ready? It's where the fountain of youth comes out. This smells so burnt. Oh god. Damn, I don't think it's supposed to be that. Okay, I'm not gonna go through this entire procedure because really it's just filling it back up and then torquing them down to 25 Newton meters, so it's nothing really like that special. But that, I don't know if I captured that on camera, but like when it was first coming out, it looked like normal oil, and then when that happened, that was literally sludge. Last but certainly not least, this is the oil change. Please don't be bad. Oh my god, that's dark. Oh my god, boys, that is terrible. Well, at least it's dark and not shiny. I could live with that. I don't think I've ever seen engine oil that dark before. So one thing I most certainly didn't mention. So I know I did a full full of everything. So you did trans. Oh god, that's terrible. Well, good thing is it doesn't look like there's metal shavings in it, so that's fantastic. Anyways, I know I did a trans service, diff service, everything. If I still hear the clunkiness and or that spaceship sound, I have a strong feeling that A, it's either that bushing that's on the trans, or not the trans, the diff, or I think it's probably the clutch. And that clutch has gone bad. This actually looks like the wrong filter, because the only way I can tell is because these ones here, so you see how it's protruded upwards? These are made for like the Mexico versions. Well, anyways, good news is that there's nothing in the filter. Not only a diff has been serviced, trans has been serviced, and then oil change. It's time to go for a ride. I'm honestly a little scared just because, I mean, you should always be a little wary about like your own servicing. I'm just gonna let it sit like this for probably a couple minutes at best. So far, so good. The car's running well. I think we're good on the bottom. Double check. Yeah? Everything looks good. Well, the one's a lot quieter, I think. Again, I'm not trying to do anything like super crazy right now. I definitely hear the little bit of like a whine. I definitely think it's maneuvering itself better already though. Okay, the oil's definitely warmed up a little bit, not crazy amounts, but I think we should be able to push it just a little bit. It definitely feels okay. Yeah? Alright guys, no engine light right now. What I'm actually gonna do is go to a tire shop to see if I can get my TPMS sensors to work on this car. I don't know if it's gonna be possible. I'm guessing I'm probably gonna need new ones. Engine light might pop up just because there is a, I think it's the downstream O2 sensor that's broken. I gotta replace that. I'm just gonna replace both of them at some point in time, but that means I gotta take the downspipes out, which I'm not too thrilled about. So anyways, we're gonna do this. Well, unfortunately, engine light has come back on. Assuming that's probably for the O2 sensor. And all of mine are dead. So that's why I'm researching which ones are the best to buy them and then have them implement it. I guess it's just fingers crossed. It's probably gonna be more of one of those things where it's like, oh, either after I stop recording or after the video's done, and that's when the warning light comes back on, knowing my luck. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.